Emotions are still running high. After the shooting in front of CVS, close family friends of Kamari Childress say the family is distraught, and they want to know why.
It's tough, for real. When it hits home like this and it hits close like this, it's not easy because you see one of your fellow, family members hurting.
17-year-old Kamari Childress was a bright teenager with dreams of independence and a growing presence on social media. Like many teens, she used Facebook to share her thoughts, moments, and emotions. But what started as a few public posts soon became the center of a disturbing chain of events that no one could predict it. In the days before her death, Kamari shared a post mocking her ex-boyfriend's emotional messages. Pleas for another chance after their breakup. To her friends, it seemed like harmless teenage drama, a way to show she had moved on. To others, it might look like a public rejection that cut deep. That same night, Kamari went to work as usual, unaware that her final moments were approaching. Hours later, her laughter, her posts, and her presence online went silent forever. Police would later piece together a trail of messages, deleted chats, and digital footprints leading back to one person. But what really happened between Kamari and her ex? Was it a moment of rage, or something premeditated? Could a social media post truly push someone to kill? And what warning signs were ignored before the situation spiraled out of control? If you are drawn to true crime stories that reveal hidden truths, we invite you to subscribe. Your support enables us to share real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to those who can no longer speak for themselves. Before we begin, tell us in the comments where you are watching from and share your thoughts as the story unfolds. Welcome to Spotlight Crime, a place where we examine cases that shake communities and reveal what often remains hidden behind closed doors. Real stories, real people, real impact. Subscribe today and turn on notifications so you won't miss what comes next. Kamari Childress was a 17-year-old high school student known for her lively energy and constant online presence. She lived with her mother and younger brother in a suburban neighborhood where she attended a local public high school. Teachers describe her as focused, balancing part-time work with her studies, and interested in pursuing cosmetology after graduation. Her family maintained a close relationship, often spending weekends together. Friends said Kamari was sociable and easy to talk to, with a small but loyal circle who frequently appeared in her social media posts. She often shared photos of outings, school events, and lighthearted moments with friends. Kamari's early interest in social media developed around the age of 14. She was active across platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Her posts often reflected typical teenage trends, selfies, song lyrics, and personal reflections. Over time, she built a modest following of peers and acquaintances from school. Her online presence became a space where she expressed opinions openly, sometimes using it to address conflicts indirectly through posts and captions. Her digital personality was confident and expressive. She frequently engaged in public comment threads and used humor to respond to criticism. However, people close to her noticed she occasionally used social media to communicate frustrations or to respond to issues happening in her personal life. Kamari met her ex-boyfriend, a young man from her school district, during her sophomore year. They started dating shortly afterward, and their relationship developed quickly. At first, friends described him as inseparable, frequent calls, shared photos, and public displays of affection online. The relationship, however, became strained over time. Arguments reportedly began over small issues, often linked to jealousy and control. Friends later told investigators that Kamari's boyfriend wanted constant updates about where she was and who she was with. On several occasions, he allegedly confronted her about social media comments made by male classmates. Kamari's mother noticed the tension, but believed it was typical teenage behavior. The couple broke up once during the summer, but reconciled weeks later. According to messages later recovered by police, the reconciliation was short-lived, as the same arguments resurfaced. By the end of the year, Kamari decided to end the relationship for good. Friends recalled her saying she wanted peace and space. Her ex reportedly continued to message her afterward, expressing regret and asking for another chance. Screenshots later showed him sending emotional messages, some pleading, others angry. Despite the persistence, Kamari ignored most of the messages, focusing on her job and new relationship. After the breakup, Kamari continued posting regularly on social media. Her tone shifted. She shared more about independence, personal growth, and her new relationship. These posts drew attention among her followers, especially those aware of her breakup. One post in particular gained traction: a Facebook screenshot showing her ex-boyfriend's desperate messages, captioned with a laughing emoji. The post appeared to mock his emotional appeals, suggesting she had moved on. Within hours, the post accumulated numerous likes and comments. Many from her peers reacted with amusement or support. The public display drew strong reactions. Some found it humorous. Others viewed it as unnecessarily harsh. Investigators later confirmed that her ex-boyfriend saw the post. Though he didn't respond publicly, messages recovered from his phone revealed private frustration. In one message to a friend, he wrote that she had made him look stupid online. The Facebook post remained visible for several hours, being shared and discussed among classmates. The social media tension likely intensified the sense of humiliation. Friends of Kamari said she didn't seem concerned about any possible reaction, assuming he would eventually move on. This moment, however, appeared to escalate existing tensions. The visibility of the post and the audience engagement around it added pressure to an already volatile situation. Social media, meant to entertain and express, became a stage where private emotions turned public. The day of the incident began like any other for Kamari. She attended school in the morning, interacted with friends, and later prepared for her evening shift at a local fast food restaurant. Before heading to work, she reportedly spoke with her boyfriend and her best friend through text. She mentioned she was tired but looking forward to getting home early. According to surveillance footage later reviewed by investigators, Kamari arrived at her workplace around 5 p.m. Nothing seemed unusual during her shift. Co-workers describe her as quiet but focused. Between 8:30 and 9 p.m., several witnesses noticed a dark-colored car parked near the restaurant's employee lot. The vehicle was seen idling for a while before leaving and returning again. One employee remembered thinking it was someone waiting for a friend. Around 9:45 p.m., Kamari clocked out. She sent a quick text to her mother saying she was heading home. Minutes later, as she approached her car, multiple gunshots were heard. Witnesses called 911 immediately after seeing her collapse near the driver's side door. Responding officers arrived within minutes. Kamari was pronounced dead at the scene. Forensic investigators recovered shell casings nearby and began securing video footage from nearby businesses. Phone records later revealed that Kamari's ex-boyfriend had tried contacting her multiple times that evening, with the last message sent shortly before the shooting. His location data placed him within a short distance of her workplace around that same time. Witnesses later described seeing a figure leaving the scene wearing dark clothing and entering a vehicle that matched the suspect's car. This pattern of events formed the foundation of the investigation that would soon unfold, a case built on digital evidence, emotional conflict, and actions that transitioned from online tension to real-world violence. The shooting occurred in the evening hours outside a fast food restaurant where 17-year-old Kamari Childress worked part-time. Surveillance footage later confirmed the time as approximately 9:47 p.m. Kamari had just finished her shift and was walking toward her vehicle parked near the back lot. The area had limited lighting, with few customers remaining inside the store. Witnesses reported hearing a brief argument, followed by multiple gunshots. According to police documentation, at least 4 shots were fired. 2 bullets struck Kamari, one to the upper chest and another to the abdomen. The weapon used was identified later as a 9mm handgun, though the make and serial number had been partially filed off, suggesting deliberate tampering. Co-workers inside the restaurant heard the shots and initially believed it was fireworks or a car backfiring. When a co-worker stepped outside to investigate, Kamari was found lying near her vehicle door unresponsive. Emergency services were called immediately. The 911 call log showed the first report came in at 9:49 p.m. Paramedics arrived within minutes and began resuscitation efforts. Despite emergency procedures, Kamari was pronounced dead at the scene. Officers secured the area with crime scene tape, documenting casings, blood splatter patterns, and nearby surveillance cameras. Witnesses described seeing a dark-colored sedan speeding away from the scene moments after the gunfire. The vehicle's make and model were unclear due to distance and lighting, but several individuals noted it had tinted windows and no visible license plate on the rear bumper. Detectives from the local homicide division took over the case within hours. The first theory developed focused on a targeted shooting rather than a random act of violence. Kamari's recent online activity was quickly examined, as investigators found she had posted on Facebook earlier that day, mocking messages from her ex-boyfriend. The post gained multiple comments and reactions within hours, making it visible to many, including the ex-boyfriend himself. Detectives requested access to Kamari's social media accounts and cell phone records. A digital forensics team retrieved deleted text messages and private messages between Kamari and her ex. The conversations revealed ongoing conflict after their breakup, including repeated attempts by the ex to contact her, and Kamari's decision to ignore or block him. In one deleted message, retrieved through digital recovery software, the ex-boyfriend appeared angry about her public post. He wrote statements that investigators later categorized as threatening or emotionally unstable. Surveillance cameras from nearby businesses were reviewed. Footage from a gas station adjacent to the restaurant showed a dark-colored sedan driving past minutes before the shooting. The timestamp aligned with the estimated time of the attack. License plate readers captured partial digits, matching a vehicle registered to the ex-boyfriend's relative. Ballistic tests conducted on shell casings recovered at the scene confirmed the use of a 9mm handgun. Detectives later found online purchase records of 9mm ammunition linked to the suspect 2 weeks prior to the incident. Search warrants were obtained for the suspect's residence, vehicle, and phone. During the search, officers found a handgun hidden beneath a mattress. Forensic testing confirmed it was the same weapon used in Kamari's murder based on ballistic markings. Digital GPS data from the suspect's phone also placed him near Kamari's workplace during the time frame of the shooting. Police located the ex-boyfriend 2 days after the shooting at a relative's home. He was taken into custody without incident. During the initial interrogation, he denied any involvement and claimed he was at home at the time of the murder. Investigators, however, had already obtained cell tower data contradicting his alibi. When confronted with the evidence, including the recovered weapon, vehicle footage, and GPS tracking, the suspect's account began to change. He eventually admitted to driving near Kamari's workplace, but maintained he only wanted to talk. Further inconsistencies emerged when investigators compared his statements to surveillance footage and phone records. Messages deleted from his phone showed searches for how to remove gun serial numbers and how to track someone's phone. Forensic analysts also discovered that his social media accounts had been wiped clean hours after the shooting. Under continued questioning, the suspect eventually confessed to confronting Kamari in the parking lot after seeing her social media post. He claimed the argument escalated, leading him to draw the firearm. The confession matched the timeline and evidence found at the scene. Investigators identified the motive as jealousy, humiliation, and revenge following the viral Facebook post. Following the confession, formal charges were filed, including first-degree murder, unlawful possession of firearm, and evidence tampering. News of the arrest spread quickly through local media. Public discussions emerged about teenage relationships, online behavior, and how social media humiliation could trigger real-world violence. The prosecution charged the suspect with first-degree murder, emphasizing premeditation based on his online searches, deleted messages, and the firearm acquisition. The defense initially pursued a strategy based on emotional distress and lack of intent, suggesting the incident was not pre-planned but spontaneous. During trial, prosecutors presented digital evidence recovered from phones, social media accounts, and surveillance footage. Text messages demonstrated escalating anger in the days preceding the shooting. Ballistic experts testified that the weapon found at the suspect's residence was a direct match to shell casings collected at the crime scene. Witnesses included Kamari's co-workers, who described hearing an argument before the shots. Digital forensic experts detailed the deleted message recovery process and how the suspect's phone data placed him near the scene. The defense attempted to question the reliability of the digital evidence and suggested others could have used the suspect's vehicle, but GPS and time logs weakened the claim. The prosecution argued that the act was deliberate, with clear evidence of planning. Court records show the proceedings lasted several weeks. The jury deliberated for less than a day before returning a guilty verdict. The suspect received a life sentence without parole. Kamari's family provided victim impact statements during sentencing, discussing the loss of their daughter and the role of online exposure in her death. Following the verdict, the case gained regional attention as an example of how social media disputes can escalate into fatal outcomes. Law enforcement agencies used the case to highlight the importance of monitoring online threats and the dangers of digital humiliation. Schools in the area introduced new awareness programs focusing on digital responsibility and recognizing early signs of unhealthy relationships among teens. Kamari's family later released statements advocating for safer online behavior and stronger intervention methods when young individuals express violent intent online. Community leaders organize events discussing how arguments and emotional conflicts, when made public, can heighten the risk of violence. Despite the conviction, several questions remained among viewers and investigators. Could this tragedy have been prevented if earlier warnings were acted upon? Did friends or family overlook signs of potential violence? How much did public embarrassment contribute to the motive? What measures could be taken to detect similar risks in the future? If this story has kept your attention, do not forget to like this video and share it with others. For more true crime stories that uncover the mysteries behind tragic events, subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay updated with our latest investigations, reports, and discussions. Thank you for joining us in this pursuit of truth and justice. Together, we can shed light where darkness remains. Until next time, stay safe and stay vigilant.